everyone and welcome to a new ASMR Spanish class. This is probably the 5th class. We didn't have a class for the last couple of weeks, but don't worry. This is, as always, it's gonna be a special class. As you know, I'm your teacher, David, and today we're going to go in a short but important Spanish class. So let's get started with the class, okay? So basically today we're going to talk about essential phrases that you can use when you travel to Spain or another country that need you to express yourself with common phrases. So this is basically essential and it's going to help you in common situations. It's going to be a short class, but believe me when I tell you that you are going to learn a lot of things. Okay, so let's get started with the main topics that we are going to talk today. So what basically you'll learn today? First, greetings and farewells. Second one, it is a courtesy and politeness. That is pretty important also, and especially in Latin American countries. If you travel once before, you understand that totally. The other point, it is basic questions. It is probably one of the most important things for the class today. And understanding and communication. Got it? 4 topics. And basically you are going to learn something that is really important when you try to communicate something in a Spanish country. It is to make yourself understandable with the right pronunciation, which is really huge important. So listening pretty well and put a lot of attention, because pronunciation is the key if you want to communicate at the right way with Spanish speakers. Okay? So, related to greetings and farewells. So, it's the essentials, the fundamentals, basically. So, in English, it is hi or hello is the most common, or what's up. Well, in Spanish, for hi or hello, it is hola. Listening pretty well the pronunciation. Hola. At the beginning it will be a little bit difficult, but if you practice, you will have the right pronunciation. So, hola, hola, hello, how are you? Hola, ¿cómo estás? Let's go with the next one. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. In in Spanish is buenas tardes. Buenas tardes. Right? Let's go with the good night. It is when you a farewell, good night. It is a little bit confusing because in English, when you arrive, it is good evening, and when you say goodbye, it's good night. But in Spanish, you use exactly the same phrase for good evening and for good night, okay? So is that really important? So doesn't matter the tone or the accent, you can say exactly the same. And it is buenas noches. Buenas noches. Arriving could be a little bit like buenas noches. And the farewell could be buenas noches. But there's no much difference. So basically, it is the same for good evening or good night. For good morning in Spanish, that is obviously different. It is buenos días. Buenos días. Good morning, right? So another common word, how are you? You could say, hello, how are you? Hi, how are you? It is hola, ¿cómo estás? Hola, ¿cómo estás? In Spanish, you can listen in my pronunciation and try to do exactly the same. When you want to say to someone, well, see you later, bye, see you later, something like that. I know that is many ways that you can say in English different from see you later, but in Spanish for similar phrase could be nos vemos luego or nos vemos después. Nos vemos luego or nos vemos después. And the last one in this category, it is a goodbye or bye, see you later. Could be goodbye, see you later, or bye bye, see you later. We are going to mix, but just for goodbye or bye, it is adiós, chao, adiós, ciao. Now, if you say, well, goodbye, see you later, or bye, see you later, in Spanish could be ciao, nos vemos después, or adiós, nos vemos más tarde, nos vemos después, nos vemos luego. It is more common use ciao. Adiós, it is now so common, so you can use ciao. Ciao, nos vemos luego. Ciao, nos vemos después. Ciao, nos vemos más tarde. Something like that. With the time you will learn, and it is going to be more easily for you. So, this is a really good starting. If you want to use this, you can have a different combinations. Hello, good morning. Morning, well, I used to say morning. And in Spanish, sometimes we used to say the same. Días. Días. Morning. Días. And you can basically combine some of these phrases. Hello. How are you? Hola. ¿Cómo estás? Hola. ¿Cómo estás? Chao. Nos vemos luego. Oh. Chao. Buenas noches. Something like that. So let's moving forward with the next slide. This is for courtesy and politeness, and you have to keep in mind that, well, not all the countries, but most of the countries that used to speak Spanish, they are really politeness and courtesy people. Obviously, this doesn't apply for 100% of the people, but Spanish people used to be very polite and very warm with people from other countries, especially in Latin America. Countries like Mexico, Colombia, Peru, Bolivia, and those countries used to be really nice with people from other countries. So have the same courtesy and politeness is something that people will surprise, and it is like have the same education of courtesy with them. So something pretty huge important, it is the please. In Spanish, it is por favor. Por favor. Please. Por favor. Just like that. Then, something really at the same level importance. Thank you or thanks. In Spanish, it is gracias. So, thank you or thanks. It is gracias. Gracias. And for please, por favor. Gracias. Por favor. We are learning a lot of things today, and this is gonna be a lot of useful in the future. I know that. Another important short phrase. You're welcome. You are welcome. It is important too, just like the others. So, how do you say you're welcome in Spanish? You say de nada. De nada. De nada. You're welcome. De nada. A little bit faster. De nada. Okay? You got it? Let's go with the next one. This is used a lot in Spanish. Excuse me. It is probably one of the most used. Excuse me. And excuse me, it is something that sounds like apologize or something like that in English sometimes, but in Spanish is to ask for permission Okay? So when you use excuse me in Spanish, when you are going to listen in a couple of seconds, it is like ask for permission, okay? So you can say disculpa, disculpa, con permiso, con permiso, disculpa, or please, excuse me, can I ask you something? So, excuse me, can I ask you something? Perdón o disculpa, ¿puedo preguntarte algo? Excuse me, can I ask you something? Con permiso. ¿Puedo preguntarte algo? Disculpa, ¿puedo preguntarte algo? In, for example, Colombia, the most common is perdón. It's like, I'm sorry, can I ask you something? It sounds too formal, but it's something that I use a lot in Colombia country. So it is, I'm sorry, can I ask you something? That could be sound weird in United States, UK, but even in other countries like Spain, if you say, I'm sorry, can I ask you something? In Spanish it could be, perdón, ¿puedo preguntarte algo? It is extremely formal, but people use the surprise, a lot of formality in this phrase. So if you want to use a specific phrase for all the countries, doesn't matter it is Mexico, Colombia, Spain, you can just say, for excuse me, can I ask you something? You can say time, and when you try that, you just say it. Disculpa, ¿puedo preguntarte algo? Disculpa, ¿puedo preguntarte algo? O con permiso, con permiso, ¿puedo preguntarte algo? Disculpa, ¿puedo preguntarte algo? You got it? More practice, more easily with time. Something that probably you need to use sometimes, I don't know, it is I'm sorry, okay? And this is formal too, and you can use this expression in all the countries and everyone is going to understand you. Spain and Latin America, okay? So, for I'm sorry in Spanish is lo siento, perdón, lo siento, lo siento, perdón. Okay? So I'm sorry, lo siento, perdón, lo siento, perdón. It is for I'm sorry, okay? It's pretty simple. It is something that you will learn with more and more practice. And another important phrase that is going to help you a lot, believe me when I say you this, it is with you say no problem, no problem. It is condescendent. In Spanish it's the same with no problem. You use exactly that phrase at the same way. Okay? So, for no problem, in Spanish, it is going to be no hay problema. No hay problema. No hay problema. No problem. No hay problema. That's absolutely all. Now, something that also you will use a lot. You probably learn some of this in high school, but when you're listening from someone that it is native in Spanish, there's a huge difference. So, if you had someone that doesn't have that native accent, you will listen in a huge difference, or probably you already noticed that. Okay, so probably you say, "Excuse me, what's your name?" Excuse me, what is your name? In Spanish, it is going to be something like, "Perdón, ¿cómo te llamas?" Or, "Disculpa, ¿cuál es tu nombre?" Disculpa, ¿cuál? What is your, tu, name, nombre, okay? So this is something that is a little bit longer. So let's try once again. So, excuse me, what's your name? In Spanish is, "Perdón, ¿cómo te llamas?" Disculpa, ¿cuál es tu nombre? That is something a little bit longer and more difficult. We are increasing the level of difficult here. But don't worry, I'm 100% sure that you will get this with time, okay? So, for the next one, probably if you used to say this question, "Excuse me, what is your name?" My name is. In Spanish, my name is. It is something like, "Mi nombre es." So, once again, for my name is, in Spanish, will be something like, "Mi nombre es." Or, "Yo me llamo." My name is. Mi nombre es. Or, "Yo me llamo David." My name is David. My name is David. In Spanish is, "Mi nombre es David." O, "Yo me llamo David." So, for example, with my name is David. In Spanish, David is David. It's curious, this name came from Ivan Evans. Well, I'm going to talk about that in another future video. So let's move forward with the third basic question, okay? So, where is the restroom? Or where is the bathroom? Where is the bathroom? Or where is the bathroom? In Spanish, it is something like ¿Dónde está el baño? Where is the bathroom? ¿Dónde está el baño? Once again, you almost got it, okay? So, where is the bathroom? ¿Dónde está el baño? ¿Dónde está el baño? Okay? Simple like that. You can watch this video once again later and you got it when you need it. The next one. It is probably one of the most used phrase from all of this. Because in Latin America especially, you will see a lot of difference. The currencies, the difference between dollar and Latin America currencies is a significant difference. So probably when you realize that, you have to ask, how much is this? But in this point, it is really important that you keep in mind that in some specific parts in these countries, maybe they don't give you the right answer because they probably know that you earn in dollars and they want to take advantage of this. So my recommendation is that you can ask someone in the local country, or basically you can join to someone else that is locally in that specific city or country, and that person is going to be some kind of lawyer or teaching you, or even is going to defend you when someone is trying to scam or basically cheat on you about the prices and something related things. But that is just another advice, okay? Keep in mind. But at the end, if you travel alone or even if you have this help, you want to try by yourself, asking how much is this? And it is simple. How much is this in Spanish is ¿cuánto cuesta esto? Or ¿cuánto vale esto? So much in Spanish could be in this specific rates cuesta or vale. So how much is this? In Spanish it is going to be ¿cuánto cuesta esto o eso? How much is that? Eso. Well, let's make it simple. How much is this? How much is this? ¿Cuánto cuesta esto? Or, ¿cuánto vale esto? Got it? Perfect. Let's try it one last. How much is this or that? Just how much is this? ¿Cuánto cuesta esto? ¿Cuánto vale esto? That's all. So let's go with the next one. It is, for example, excuse me, do you speak English? But when you are going to a Spanish country, it is going to be, excuse me, do you speak Spanish? Excuse me, do you speak English? We're going to use both. Let's go with the first that you are watching in the screen right now. Excuse me, do you speak Spanish? Perdón. ¿Hablas español? That is for do you speak Spanish? So how it's going to be, excuse me, do you speak English? It's almost the same, just Spanish for English. So, perdón, ¿hablas inglés? Perdóname, ¿hablas inglés? Perdóname, ¿hablas inglés? Pretty simple. Probably you don't use too much because you are learning Spanish. But well, you will need help and you probably ask a lot for help, even to strangers. And if you are in common neighbors, locations or malls, you will find a lot of people that is really nice and they are going to be able to help you. But it's really important that you try to do in Spanish. Okay? So, probably you don't remember some word in Spanish, or you are searching for a specific place, location, address, or something like that. So, can you help me? Can you help me in Spanish? It is, ¿puedes ayudarme? Once again, can you help me? Is, ¿puedes ayudarme? Can you help me? Please? It's pretty much important if you add that at the end, because as I said before, some of them are extremely formal. So if you say, can you help me please? It's better if you do in that exactly wait in Spanish. Can you help me please? In Spanish is, ¿puedes ayudarme por favor? ¿Puedes ayudarme por favor? Once again. ¿Puedes ayudarme por favor? ¿Puedes ayudarme por favor? So, let's move forward to the fourth part of this class, the last. Every part, it is extremely important. So, just listening, learn, and obviously understand, just like understanding and communication. So this last part is with just 5 short phrases that you will use a lot, because if you don't understand Spanish a lot, some accent in Spanish could be a little bit more difficult. It's the same in English. In English, there are some specific locations and some specific accents that could be a little bit more difficult to understand for people that even speak English. You know what I'm talking about, right? Some specific persons, some specific people, in some specific parts are really difficult to understand even for native English speakers. Sorry. Water or bottled water. That is something different between United States and UK. A bottle of water. So it's gonna be pretty common that you say, well, I don't understand, because there are some specific accents in Spanish that is really difficult to understand even for native Spanish speakers. So you probably say a lot in Spanish, I don't understand. I don't understand. In Spanish is no entiendo. No te entiendo. I don't understand you. No te entiendo. I don't understand. No entiendo. And for I don't understand you, it is no te entiendo. It is something that you're probably going to use a lot because, well, it is specific regions with this weird accent. And other phrase that is not going to be so common, but you probably use sometimes, it is I don't know. In Spanish, I don't know. It is just like no sé. No sé. No sé. No sé. No sé. Just like that. Another one that is pretty much related to the first phrase, that is I don't understand, when you talk with someone with weird accent, it is, could you repeat that, please? Remember, for most of these phrases, it's really important that in Spanish you add please, por favor, at the end or at the beginning. You can do whatever you want. Could be at the beginning, or could be at the end. But this and the first one are really important, because sometimes you can say, I don't understand. No entiendo. But other sometimes probably you say, well, I don't understand at all, I just some part. So, could you repeat that? Please. Remember, please. In Spanish, por favor. So, could you repeat that? Please. In Spanish, it is just like, ¿podrías repetir eso? Por favor. Could you repeat that, please? ¿Podrías repetir eso? Por favor. Once again. ¿Podrías repetir eso? Por favor. ¿Podrías repetir eso? Por favor. Could you repeat that? Please. And, well, the fourth phrase, it is going to be really huge, important when you talk with those weird accents in some specific location or cities in countries from Spain or Latin America. So, if you know that they are talking too fast, you can say, speak slowly, please. If you don't understand, you can say, I don't understand. Could you repeat that? Or speak slowly, please. So we are mixing some of these phrases in Spanish. So I don't understand. Could you repeat that? Or speak slowly, please. Let's go first with the fourth phrase, which is speak slowly, please. Speak slowly, please. In Spanish, it is something like habla despacio, por favor. But remember the courtesy. So if you say that, probably sound too direct. So could you speak slowly, please? Remember the courtesy. You will learn in time with practice. But we are going to start using that courtesy, formality, and politeness just right now. So, if you say that exactly, speak slowly, please, could be rude in Spanish. So, in English, could be cool. You speak slowly, please. So let's translate. Could you speak slowly, please? Could you speak slowly, please? Could you speak slowly, please? In Spanish is ¿podrías hablar despacio, por favor? Once again. ¿Podrías hablar despacio, por favor. ¿Podrías hablar despacio, por favor? That's more nicely, is more politeness, okay? So, now with the last phrase. Of course. Well, this is the easy in this list. So, of course, in Spanish it is por supuesto or claro. Remember, of course, in Spanish is pretty simple. So, if you want to say this in Spanish, the fifth phrase, of course, it is going to be por supuesto. Claro. Of course. Por supuesto. Claro. Por supuesto. Claro. Now, like a last lesson, we're going to mix some of this, just like I explained before, okay? So, suppose that you are in a conversation with someone that speaks Spanish and you don't understand because they speak too fast and it is really hard to understand. But you know if probably that person repeat that in a slowly way, you will get it. So you can say first in English could be something like, I don't understand. Could you repeat that and speak slowly, please? So we are mixing three phrases that is going to help you with those specific accents in Spanish. So, I don't understand. Could you repeat that? Or no, could be and speak slowly, please. So I don't understand. Could you repeat that and speak slowly, please? It's better with and. Okay, so once again, class. I don't understand. Could you repeat that and speak slowly, please? So it is going to be in Spanish. No entiendo. ¿Podrías repetir eso y hablar despacio, por favor? Once again. No entiendo. ¿Podrías repetir eso y hablar despacio, por favor? No entiendo. ¿Podrías repetir eso y hablar despacio, por favor? One last time. No entiendo. ¿Podrías repetir eso y hablar despacio, por favor? That is the mix between all those three important phrases. And I know that you got it, right? You are learning, first learning. Great. So, well, class, in today's lesson, let's make this quick review. You understand a lot of things and learn. Now you know the most important phrases to communicate, not in English, in Spanish. My mistake, class. Greetings, courtesy, which is important, especially in Latin America. Questions and communication. And just like everything in this life, you just need to practice every day. So let's translate. You can see the translate in this slide, but let's make the pronunciation of this phrase. Practice every day. Listen and learn every day. How do you say in Spanish? Practice every day. It is going to be practica todos los días. Slowly. Practica todos los días. Practice every day. Okay? So, class, basically that was the lesson for today. And I hope that you really enjoy this particular lesson, class, and helped you in a future. I know that is going to be pretty or a lot of useful in your trips and your vacations when you travel to any of these countries: Spain, Mexico, Argentina, Chile, Peru, Colombia, Brazil. But Brazil is Portuguese, so that doesn't apply for that. But well, thank you so much for assisting to this class. And well, see you in my next class. And I'm so sorry to take so long between our last class and this one. Some class are going to be a little bit more informal or a little bit more formal, just like one of the previous class. But at the end, the most important thing, it is how much you can learn from me, your best Spanish teacher. And well, class, I hope that you have a really good day, wonderful week, and see you in the next Spanish class. Bye.